Deck, yeah, probably my favorite deck right now. Honestly, a lot of people hate on it, but it's probably the most consistent deck by far. I ran this for 5 rounds in Swiss. I ran Yosenju's for 2, this for 5, so I played all demise decks during Swiss, and then I played Monarchs throughout of top. So it's mostly counterpicking in the top, because I'm pretty sure they're going to put me on Cleese, so I played counters. So I only played 8 of the Cleese, which is the 1 Monolith, 1 Scout, 2 Stealth, 2 Carrier, and 2 Helix. I think this is the best ratio. A lot of people are playing the Shell, but I feel like that's an unnecessary card to play, because if you're able to manage your resources properly, you shouldn't run out. If anything, I'd run on another Helix, because I've run into scenarios where it's hard to drop a 2 Tribute to get value out of it a lot of the time. So I think the 8's perfect, but if you're going to play another 9 scale, because you feel like you need that other 9 scale, I'd play a 3rd Helix. But that's the minimal monster lineup I would play. 3 cards of demise, self-explanatory. Upstart, I play the 1 Terraform because I play 2 field spells. I like it over Commandant because I can also play the Laser Clip like I went over earlier. And that does a lot of nifty plays in the deck. 3 Summoners already, even though I play 2 targets, just to get to the targets. Getting to your Scout is the most important thing. Card to my Scout is the win con. Into the Void, I don't know why people don't play this card. It's really good. It's never really dead if you play it properly. I mean, you can top deck it dead every now and then, but if you're top decking it dead, you're probably deep into your deck, so you're fine. It means you resolve the demise or set a bunch of back row. And then you can make it live. I'll explain that later. 3 Duality, searching for your cards of demise, searching for your Scout. Sacrifice, best equipment in the game, pretty much. Laser Cleave, really good card. Honestly, it fixes so many of my hands. It's not even funny, just because you can draw like 2, even with my low count, you draw like 2 scaled or like mismatching scales, you need to get a couple on board. It saves a lot of the hands, and you just play your Necro Valley over it, honestly. That's pretty much what that one did. I actually did a really cool play in the 7th round that we didn't post because it was like an infinitely long match, where I was able to Stormforth earlier in turn and eventually search for the Laser Cleave to tribute off his guy that he brought back later on in the turn. So it adds a lot of utility to the deck, honestly. Bottomless, one of the most underrated cards in the format. 3 Drowning Mirror Force, probably my favorite trap right now. It just resets the whole field really well.
Yeah, they have to expend like so many resources to like deal with your field, and by the time they've expended that many, they can't really deal with a Drowning Mirror Force too, typically, right?
Yeah, a lot of the time. Also, I play the 3 Soul Transition, so it kind of like works well with that one. I can clear my board when I want to a lot of the time. So being able to clear my board whenever I want, and either bounce something or like pop a back row. I'll sometimes open up the Soul Transition Drowning. I'll like search for Helix instead, so I can get a free pop of back row, and then they're gonna run headfirst into the Drowning. That's kind of, I did a lot of like cool stuff with that. The 3 Soul Transition also helps with the Into the Voids not being dead, because drawing 2 cards with Into the Void automatically when your turn starts, your Into the Void's live again. So it's how you keep that consistency going. Yeah, the Drowning is just really good. Emptiness, self-explanatory. I'll go over this actually, this little 4 lineup. The Emptiness, Recreate, Lose 1 turn, and Skill Drain. I think what I've played with this deck a lot, people overdo Floodgates, and honestly, I don't think Rivalry is very good right now if you're facing good players, because all the decks can either A, play around it, or B, it just doesn't do enough versus them, like Cosmos or even Pendulum, which is supposed to be really good against. Everyone's already playing around it because I set 5. They're going to be playing around Rivalry either way by making suboptimal plays. If I have it, I solidify that option. But if I have other cards, they're going to play around it either way. That's how the meta's turned into. I'm kind of using the winning lists against people, if that makes sense at all. Because people are expecting it, and they're going to play around it regardless. So not having it makes me have a better position because I have other cards. Reclate's really good. I think you need 1 searchable trap in this deck to get value out of Scout every turn. I think this is the best one. Lose 1 turn was awesome the whole turn, but I wouldn't play more than 1 skill drain. So I like the 1-1-1-1 lineup. And then the 4 Solemns, 3 strikes, 1 warning. I think Chaos Shrapnel is better than the side because there's still the decks out there like Water and Yosenju that exist that I'd rather just have other cards for. The most general main deck I think is the best way to go, personally.
Yeah.
Side deck, Regeki, 2 System Downs, 2 MSTs, all self-explanatory there. 2 Stormforth. Whenever I go second, I always want this card. It's really good. I don't like it in the main deck because I don't always try to go first, and if I draw going first, it's completely dead. So my side deck in the finals, is what we're looking at right now, is different than I played in tournament because I was trying to counterpick him, and he chose Cosmo, which is what I didn't put him on. I put him on Pendulum. So I was kind of in a losing scenario that way, even though I got DC'd 3 times. But usually I side deck 2 Imperial Iron Wall, but in this one there's 1. It's self-explanatory for that one. The 1 Soul Drain is really good. 2 Chaos Drop, also self-explanatory. I like Huge Revolutions over instead of the Deflectors or the Bribes or anything like that because it can out the Twin Twister, which is the biggest problem. It also outs Krause and it hits Pendulum Sorcerer. A lot of people don't know that. So it kind of, instead of countering the cards that already counter you, it also counters their deck in general. And then there's the 2 Unwavering Bonds I was testing out for that because I was putting them on Pendulum. Usually it's a Climate Change and a Imperial Iron Wall, so I played through Swiss.
So did you figure? How do you figure the value system down with so few monsters?
What do you mean?
Like you thought you were playing against Pendulum, but you still obviously are prepared for Cosmo. All your monsters are machine, doesn't it hit your own?
It does, but a lot of times, like even with the Soul Transitions, I can tribute them off, or it's more the fact of I'm not going to system down when they have a giant board while I have a board. A lot of times when they have all their ships on the field, I don't have a board, so it works out really well.
Yeah, typically they've cleared through everything.
Yeah, because if they don't have ships, I'm putting my guys on the board. But then when they put ships on the board, they've outed me, so I can counter it. I still wanted some Cosmo in here, or even if you went to Qli for the mirror match, system down's really good. So I had to still like try to keep it general because Ed was probably my least favorite person I wanted to play in the finals, anyways, because he's the least predictable.
Yeah.
So I just kind of put him on something I would guess on that he's played before, and I never saw him play Cosmo, so I didn't put him on that. But typically I have more Cosmo side, but I still want to keep something because he's played every deck pretty much in the tournament. So honestly, I never went into the extra deck. Nothing's relevant in there. I can go over it really quick.
I can just pan through unless you have anything to note.
Not really. I never went into anything. I mean, I play Utopia Beyond in case something happens, but besides that, there's nothing really that's crazy in that extra deck.
All right. Well, any final notes / shoutouts for deck building?
Shout out to probably my best friend Jake Mattern. He helps me a lot with my theories when I'm talking to him at work. That's why he's my DN name a lot of the time. An old joke from a long time ago. Shout out to House of Champions for everything. Shout out to Zodiac for being able to play in these tournaments. I don't get to play much in real life. I actually own 0 cards. So I'm always borrowing cards for events, and this is how I test. So it's a lot of fun to be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And have it mean something versus like boring just random matches. So shout out to Zodiac and House of Champions and all, and Troll and Toad and everyone that supports everything. So yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.